Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hard Knocks debuted the 2021 season last night on HBO. I watched it, featuring America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. And it's funny, this morning, USA Today had a headline, 5 takeaways from Hard Knocks. I started reading it. I'm like, what am I reading this for? I don't need your 5 takeaways. I got a couple. Number one, I was not the biggest Dak Prescott fan. I think people that watch this show know that. I'm less of a Dak Prescott fan coming out of watching this show. What a whiner. What a whiner. Look, I understand you want to take every rep. I get it. You can't take every single rep. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He was very upset
that he couldn't.
That he was pulled early in this training camp a couple weeks ago because they want to give the backups some work. Danny Bonaducci, the backup quarterback. Well, Ben DiNucci's his name, but I call him Danny Bonaducci, which means nothing to you, do you? He was the star of the Partridge Family. Anyways, that was one. Dak, come on, stop whining. Let these other guys have some work. And then, of course, he ends up getting hurt. 2, the biggest one was Jera. When he was talking to the team, I thought it was the head therapist. You said it was the team doctor.
Yeah, it was one of the two.
Yeah. So he's writing with an HB pencil these notes on Dak, talking with the medical staff on the phone. And we all take away different things. But my thing was this. He's eating a McDonald's Egg McMuffin, Jera Jones. And people are saying, well, what's odd about that? He's worth $7-8 billion. How did he not have a Red Seal chef at his ready? You know, here you go, Mr. Jones. You know, with his choice, an omelet station.
Yeah, exactly. He's got Benedict or something like.
Right. An omelet station, a guy cutting a roast at the end of the table. Jerry, when you're done with the trainer, we have your choice here of ham, roast beef. Do you want that in your omelet, Mr. Jones?
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Connor Bedard is supposed to be the next Gretzky, the next Crosby. And it was a fan that said, Marcel Deon. And I'm like, you nailed it. Remember Marcel? What a player.
Yeah, he definitely was. Hopefully this young man's a little bit taller than Marcel. You know, it was incredible to play. Of course, Marcel was the key to our line. He was the superstar that did everything.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Hello, Canada. Welcome to the RP Show and Canadian sports fans around the world. What a day. We are having ourselves a day. Notice anything different about me? I'll let the first of you get a gift card for Taco Time if you notice it. Maybe the Moose is eligible to play, but it is game day here in South Florida. Game 1, Panthers Lightning. A lot of talk about that. And we welcome in the affable co-host of the program, Darren Moose DuPont. What's with the glasses today, Moose? Trying to look smart?
Trying to look smart, see if I can bring any intelligence in the conversation today. And, you know, a lot of screen time, so I figured I better get my glasses on.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, I'll tell you what, good luck. By the way, I'm going to say it right now. What a day. I had some vehicle problems. The check engine light came on today as I was trolling down Glades. That could just completely threaten to derail my day. And then getting on the air here, or at least trying to get on the air today, one malfunctioning cord, foobarred the whole outfit. Right? So now I'm running off that laptop camera again today. So again, how does it look, Moose? Look, Jordan seems to be okay with it.
Yeah, and you know, typically if Jordan's okay with it, I'm okay with it. I think it looks good. Yeah. It looks good.
Good. Well, then back to normal, and nobody needs to know a blinking thing. Coming up on the program today, our good and longtime friend, Andrew Walker, formerly of Fan 590 Toronto, Fan 960 Calgary, Sportsnet 650 Vancouver, Big 105 Red Deer. Andrew Walker's going to be with us. He's launched a new podcast called The Hedge out of Edmonton, and I'm interested to chat with Walks about a variety of things. That's coming up in hour 1. And then in hour 2, nice work, Clark, the television voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Dave Randorf. Dave Rambo Randorf's going to be with us to preview this series, Game 1, Lightning and Panthers. So that's all coming up. With that out of the way, can we hit the Quick Six show horn, please? Please and thank you. A lot of interesting things to get to. I wanted to mention, by the way, Moose, did you see where I said those little things threatened to derail my day? But I'm not going to let them derail my day. Both of them completely out of my control. But I will try to not kick the camera this time when I run to the bathroom in the break, because I think this is operator error. It might be on me. People might want to look in the mirror from time to time. You'd be surprised at what you'd see. Point 1. The hockey spotlight will be on the Sunshine State tonight when the Lightning and Panthers open the second round of the NHL Playoffs at FLA Live Arena in Sunrise. Tampa's the defending Stanley Cup champions, while the Panthers won the President's Trophy this season for having the best overall record in the regular season. In the later game, the St. Louis Blues will face the Colorado Avalanche at Ball Arena in Denver. So it's a doubleheader tonight, Moose, and I'm wondering how you feel about that. I like it with the squirrel that I am. I think we talked about this a year ago and maybe 2 years ago. It's nice. Less games, more to sink your teeth into. You know, and I'm going to be at FLA Live Arena tonight. I'm on pins and needles. I can't wait. Everybody's talking about it. And if I may, when we talk about what they're saying on South Florida radio today, this is what it is. They're mad that the Heat and the Celtics are opening up tonight, 2 in Miami, and the Panthers are playing Game 1 against Tampa Bay. They're mad. How can they schedule this? They're blaming a conspiracy on Gary Bettman. I don't know how. That's just what they're saying on the radio, Moose. So it's not just Winnipeg. It's not just Winnipeg that gets upset when their teams are playing on the same night. So your thoughts on Game 1, Lightning Panthers?
Well, I get it. And, you know, Gary Bettman wants to screw the little guy, and he wants Tampa Bay to win again. So he schedules it on the same night so they won't have as many fans in the building, and Tampa Bay will avoid the home ice advantage that Florida has, and they'll roll on through the series. And I don't think that's what's going on. But you know what? It's fun for sports talk radio to talk about conspiracy theories. Look, I've seen some videos, your videos. I've seen other videos. I saw Jeannie Bouchard's social media inside that building in FLA Live Arena, how packed it was. The atmosphere is getting there. They're buying in. So I think that there's some heat down there. And if they sell out and it's a great atmosphere again tonight, forget about the Heat. I mean, they'll sell out too, but the Panthers are becoming a ticket, man. And this is going to be a great series, especially after these two teams had a really good battle last year.
This may be a record 5 minutes into the show, and I'm already derailed mentally because I wanted to talk about the Colorado-St. Louis series, but no, I won't. Here's what I was thinking the other night, whatever game it was against Washington, Game 5 here. They were jammed. I mentioned that the score sheet said 19,000 and change were in the arena, but my buddies here were saying, no, we crammed over 20,000 in. And I'm like, oh, it's like the old days of the Moose Jaw Civic Center and the crushed can. They just told the fire marshal to take the night off. You know, great. I don't have a problem with it. But there were things happening in the game where there were, the hybrid icing call. People were, boo. They knew, or bad penalty calls. They knew. And I'm sitting there examining this going, they do know. And they've had hockey here since 1993. It's just if they lose, as my buddy Thad said, because he's invested, okay? His summer's ruined if the Panthers lose out here. Thad's invested, but he said the other 15,000 in this building that aren't hardcore, they'll go to South Beach and do drugs all weekend in their life. They'll be fine.
How about
right?
that?
So there's just not as many people as invested in the team like the Leafs and the Habs and the Oilers. Like, you know what I mean? And I say, I don't know if there's any teams that I'm that invested in emotionally. Probably the Regina Pats. That's it. Because when they made the league final in 2017, I was swearing on Twitter. And people were like, Rod, put your phone down. I was swearing on. I was so upset that my Pats were losing in the league final. But they're about the only team that I care that much. So there's that. And then the other thing with Bettman, I'm surprised that you would jump onto that and say, oh, yeah, Bettman's trying to screw the little man. Because in this case, he is the little man, for one. And for two, I'm trying to think that there aren't such a thing as conspiracy theories, because as you recall, in my 20 seasons in the CFL, I was the conspiracy theory guy. And my God, the horrible things that were said to and about me because of my conspiracy theories. And then I leave the league, and then I have people come up to me and go, you know, Rod, you were right. I'm like... So I'm trying not to overthink it, but I'm... Is there a conspiracy here that the Heat and the Panthers would play on the same night? You were joking, right?
Yeah, of course. I was joking. Yeah, there's no way there's a conspiracy theory between the two. No way. You know, I think the market's big enough, and I think it's going to be fun. You got to remember about those diehard fans, too, in Florida. Like, it's been since 93 they were in the league. They only had one real run. That was in 96. They made the Stanley Cup final. So everybody gets on the bandwagon, and then when they don't get a sniff of getting back there, I mean, everybody leaves the bandwagon. So to have that many diehard fans still hold over from 96 is amazing. And they're going to start to get more and more the more consistently they can have success like that.
Okay, so Moose, I'm hoping you're loving this conversation as much as me. If you've noticed, and I don't know if you're watching this closely as I am, but Bettman was down here for game 2, I think, of the first round series, and then he was saying how hockey's growing in the state of Florida. Wayne Gretzky said it on the panel of the NHL on TNT. Hockey's exploding in Florida. I'm like, not really. But clearly there's an agenda here to push this. And in my life, largely, I've been the benefactor of really great timing. There's been bad timing in some instances, but for the most part, great timing. And I'm like, if we're going to have this show out of here half the time or more, I would love for Florida to be a hockey hotbed more than ever before, believe me. But a lot of what it is the fact that the Panthers are winning. It doesn't hurt that Tampa's obviously 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion, so it's the perfect storm for this to all happen. So I'm hoping that it continues. Anyways, Braden Point probably won't play tonight, the other which helps the Panthers a ton. The other thing they were talking about in here, I want your take on this. How many times, Darren, if you've watched these interviews when you're not on, Nichols, Simmer, Dreger, people saying they don't trust Sergei Bobrovsky. They don't trust Florida's goaltending. And I don't really trust him either. But at some point, they do say, and history will show this, that stats will show this, goalies get better the older they get. Bobrovsky's a 2-time Vezina Trophy winner. He's got a $10 million a year contract. Wouldn't it be something if he just, some spring, just randomly all of a sudden gets it? Maybe this is it because it's here. Any problems he has are here. One thing we've seen in the recovery business, and it works with goaltending. You were great at one time. We've seen your ability to be at the top of your game. So what were you doing to get to the top of your game? What was going on in your life then? You can use it for human beings, for their life, and certainly high-level athletes. So do you think Bob could in some way match Vasilevsky in this series? And if so, what would that mean to this series?
Well, we've seen it, right? We've seen Bob's top end match Vasilevsky's high end. Problem is Bob's got a lower low end than Vazzy does, right? There's more of a spread. And
we've seen that too.
I think the older you get, the tighter that gap becomes, right? I think you stop making so many sporadic mistakes. You get a little less risky. So, you play a little quieter. I think we've seen that with some older goaltenders. But we've seen that Bob can do it. The reason we don't trust him is because we've never seen him take a team deep in the playoff. And until he does, we're not going to trust him. So as long as the guys in that locker room trust him, he has the ability to stand on his head and play really well. The good news is they got Spencer Knight in behind him if they need to go that way. But, I think it's obviously a point of conversation because there's zero questions about Tampa's goaltending. But I think Bob can absolutely accomplish it, and we hope he shows up tonight.
Game 1, 7 p.m. Eastern. There's so much that I would like to write in my columns, but if you've noticed, I've taken the last 2 weekends off for writing my 10 Things columns because, quite frankly, I'm not staring at the walls in a room of a hotel. I'm out doing things, so I'd rather be doing things than maybe writing. But so some of these topics are things that I would like to tackle. People are talking about the ESPN and TBS broadcast crews. I got a lot of things to talk about there. Ryan McCarthy is watching in New York. He says both games tonight are on TNT. He says, I'll be listening on the NHL app. Farmer in Saskatchewan in the chat says, so when do the Rats come out in Florida? Really great question. My friend Jess, she had 2 of them with her at the game the other night, and I didn't ask her why she didn't throw them on the ice. She brought them, didn't throw them on the ice. Thad bought a box of them, $3 a rat. And by the way, they're not real, they're plastic. But when do the Rats come out? Maybe tonight would be a really good time for that. That's a good question here. And on the broadcast, very happy to see my dear friend Julie Stewart-Binks on the Between the Benches and the, last series, I think it was Tampa Bay, Toronto. I can't remember. Can't keep all these broadcasts straight. I see a lot of belly aching and groaning about the broadcast crews. We've done enough about that. Let's just move on. Oh, yeah, Colorado's playing St. Louis tonight. Nobody cares. Colorado's coaches from Yorkton, Jared Bednar. 2 Blues still hail from Saskatchewan, Braden Shen and Tyler Bozak. But do you feel like the shine is kind of off the Saskatchewan Blues? Nobody seems to talk about it anymore like we were at one time.
I know. We were talking about it a ton. It was really exciting and the new thing. And now we're at that point of the party where it's like, I've been there. I've done that. It's not that exciting. I mean, you're just learning this now. We knew they were Saskatchewan a long time ago. So we've kind of become the cool kids at the party, right? So
yeah. People love to talk about commissioners, too. I'm not sure why, but they do. Ted, watching in Red Deer, says, I think Gary Bettman is tied with Adam Silver as the best league commissioner, in my opinion. From Jeff, the Stamps fan, he says, maybe Gary Bettman is just confident his product can compete with the NBA. I'm sure that he can. Don't forget, Gary Bettman came from the NBA. He was the assistant or whatever, deputy commissioner when he came to the National Hockey League. But a very good segue. Let's move on from the NHL. Other than to say, Wayne Gretzky, if I saw this right. Number 99, Wayne Gretzky, has chosen the Calgary Flame to win the series against the Edmonton. Did I see that right, or was I dreaming it again? Because I woke up the other night and looked at my phone and thought the Flames had lost Game 7 against Dallas, and for several hours I thought they had. So were my eyes deceiving me on this one?
Did you see the Oilers Twitter account?
What'd they say?
Was the Oilers tweeted, ouch, Wayne. Because he picked the Flames. I couldn't believe it.
It shocks the hell out of me. Like, you could pour gasoline on Lanny McDonald down his throat and throw matches on him, and he wouldn't pick anybody but the Calgary Flames. Again, love Wayne Gretzky, no doubt. But I feel like somebody's putting Wayne up to these things. Which, by the way, I assume you're getting the panels in Canada like I am here in South Florida, the same panels. You're getting Bissonnette and Gretzky and Tocchet. Did you see the other night when Bissonnette just went on and on and on his point, and Wayne turns and goes, land the plane, Biz. Did you?
I did not see that.
I hit the floor. Wayne Gretzky, land the plane, Biz. Oh, and then Biz Nasty just turned red as a tomato. So the thing with Gretzky picking the Flames, I don't know. I just said, I think he's taking his role as analyst very seriously. Anyways, you all came here for the hockey talk. You also came here for the football talk, and we'll get to that next. From one commissioner talk to another, we'll talk about Randy Ambrosie, day 3 of the CFL strike. We'll tell you which team's picketing outside their stadium today. Blue Jays, junior hockey. Mitch Marner got robbed last night. That ain't cool. So we got a lot of things to get to. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show. This is the warm-up. We're only halfway through it on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Another beautiful day in South Florida, but next week we are live on location at the Centennial Cup in beautiful Estevan, Saskatchewan, a 10-team tournament from May 19th to the 29th with hosts the Estevan Bruins welcoming the champions of the 9 CJHL leagues. The 11th time the Prairie Province has hosted Canada's National Junior A Championship. For more information on the 2022 Centennial Cup, visit hockeycanada.ca or follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As we welcome the Moose back in from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. It's a lovely world we live in with communication, Moose. My phone is going nuts with guys and gals converging on Estevan. They're saying it's going to be a reunion. There's some hockey people that want it to be a surprise that they're coming to Estevan, so I guess you'll find out when they get there. But we've got the Bruins dinner. We've got games every day, 3 a day, and our show live from next Monday to Friday, I guess, inclusive. It's just going to be fantastic. And before we switch gears to the CFL strike, poll question today. Thank you, producer Clark, for A, coming up with the question, and B, posting it to Twitter, and C, YouTube. Who should win the NHL's Selkie Trophy? And for those that don't know, that's for the NHL's top defensive forward. Did they announce these finalists today, Clark? I didn't see. They did? How did I not get that notification? But with the spit show grease fire that my morning's been, that doesn't surprise me. So here they are, Moose. Patrice Bergeron of the Boston Bruins. Elias Lindholm of the Calgary Flames. Peter Marr's voice echoes in my head every time I see the name Elias Lindholm. And Sasha Barkov of the Florida Panthers. So I'm voting for Bergeron, and I'll tell you the reason why, but he's not leading the vote. Elias Lindholm of the Calgary Flames is leading with 41% of the vote, then Bergeron with 34%, Barkov with 25%. Lindholm had his best offensive season ever. I don't think of him as a defensive forward at all. Sasha Barkov does it all. He plays, he quarterbacks the power play. I believe he centers the top line. He's a forward, don't you know? He's the captain of the Florida Panthers. He literally does it all, but I don't think of him as defense either. Patrice Bergeron, I kind of do, but I was spoiled. I was in an era of watching Bob Gainey. He won it every year. Just like Gretzky won the MVP every year, Bob Gainey won the top defensive forward every year. They should call it the Bob Gainey Award. None of these guys play like Bob Gainey. Old man yells at cloud. Who are you voting for the Selkie Trophy?
Probably Bergeron too. I mean, how many does he have already? He's got a few under his belt, right? I mean, he's won it quite a few years. I mean, probably Bergeron for me. Although the other two are very deserving as well. You would have watched Barkov more than I did, but yeah, Bergeron just seems like that responsible guy who just continues to find ways to contribute offensively. He's a tremendous player. I love watching him play.
So I was at the Panthers-Leafs game here with Cam from Bronco Plumbing and Heating. And I said, Camco, watch 16 for Florida. Just watch him. And like 5 minutes later, Camco, again, owner-proprietor Bronco Plumbing and Heating, he's like, he never comes off the ice. I'm like, no, he doesn't. But nobody ever hears about Alexander Barkov. Ever. And again, I'm not voting for him for top defensive forward. There's a lot of other awards that I would. By the way, Bronco Plumbing and Heating, find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbingandheating.com. By the way, that's the thing with the Panthers. They don't get any coverage. And for those that are just getting on to us, we have a lot of new viewers. When I started coming here in September, I went to the Panthers games, met with their VP of Communications, and she said, you can interview anybody you want. Nobody ever asks to interview us. I still don't think they are being asked to be interviewed. They rolled out the red carpet. I've got my own seat in the press box here, for the love of Pete. People keep asking why I keep coming back. Wouldn't you? Yeah, so John Lynch. I meant to say this on Friday, as you know. I called Lynch, and I honestly, folks, had to hang up on him because he was so wound up. I hadn't talked to him in a month. He was giving me anxiety. I was ripping down the roadway in my Jeep. It was... And he's like... And I'm like, John, you're breaking up, John. Click. You know it, right? You know what he's like. Anyways, the reason he's on the phone with me going, so that Florida team, they got some pretty good players. What's the guy's name? Scooby-Doo? Huberdeau, John. Huberdeau. Was he new? No, he's the longest serving Panther. He's been here for 10 years. What? John Lynch was having himself a day.
Love that man.
Yeah. Yeah. Scooby-Doo. You know how we talk, right? Who's this guy? Scooby. Yeah. Okay. They're all waging a war in the chat. They want to talk about the CFL strike, and I get it. It's day 3. From the Canadian Press Wire, players on the Hamilton Tiger Cats, frustrated with the lack of negotiations for a new CFL collective agreement, will stand together in solidarity outside Tim Hortons Field today. The CFLPA has told the CFL that it is prepared to continue negotiations anywhere and at any time in order to get players back to work and fans back in the stand. I see Mo Khan, our good friend Mo from TSN 690 Montreal. He has tweeted, for CFL fans ripping the Players Association and its players for striking, 2 words, Jonathan Hefney. Right now, he is incarcerated in South Carolina. Unfortunately, he had resorted to slinging drugs to make up the dollars required to pay his medical bill. Because the CFL wouldn't do that for an injury suffered on the field of play. horrible situation. And but I'm not a labor expert at all. I've been sitting back and watching this. They say that, this is just standard stuff, Rod, the way the two sides are playing. Okay. It's in my commentary today. I think you should go and read it. The old boys club that is the CFL is guys that aren't that old, really. They're my age-ish, but they're used to getting their own way. They're rich kids, and when they don't get their own way, you see what's happening. They pick up their ball, they go home. I'm not talking about it. And that's where they are. And not much gets accomplished without talking about it. And now they're saying the Rider game on Monday, supposed to play Winnipeg at 3 p.m. on the holiday Monday, statutory holiday. Very good chance it won't happen unless this gets solved by tomorrow, and it doesn't look, Darren, like it's going to be solved by tomorrow. So do you have something that you can relate? Because, again, I'm not a labor relations expert. The way the CFL owners and executives are acting doesn't surprise me one bit.
There are no talks scheduled. So with no talks scheduled, what makes you think they're even going to get to the table before tomorrow, let alone solve this by tomorrow? Now, from what we read, too, it sounds like, when you actually get into the contracts and the negotiations, that they're not that far apart. So if they happen to get to the table, there's hope that this can get done fairly quickly. But they're not getting to the table. So it's a non-starter. It's a moot point unless they actually get to the table and start talking to hammer this out. And it's all about who can withstand the heat a little bit longer, right? It's a game of chicken. And if the ownership is sitting here being like, well, we could miss a game. We could miss a preseason game. My understanding is that the players don't get paid for the preseason game, any extra money, while the owners would make money, revenue on any ticket sales and whatnot on a preseason game. So losing the preseason game, to me, seems to hurt the franchises, the owners, more than it'll hurt the players. So, it's I don't know where this is going to go. It's all posturing. And the second it starts, right now, it's not a severe threat to the regular season, but we're getting darn close to it being a threat to the regular season.
Can you imagine them having no preseason games? Like, this is the thing. I am by no means a relationship expert. Not at all. But the one thing that I see with these CFL leaders that are doing the negotiating, they didn't think the players would go on strike. So I feel like they're reeling a little bit because they never have. Yeah. And these are, to Randy Ambrosie. I don't really have an opinion anymore because I'm not as involved as I used to be. And I don't like to make an opinion on things I don't necessarily know everything about. Is that fair? I liked Randy at one time, but I haven't talked to him for a couple of years. I mean, he's firmly on the owner's side, but he's their boss. Certainly makes sense to me why he would be on their side, but he doesn't look very good. And the fact that this league is on strike right now, and then if they miss games, that would be a first. There's been a strike before, but games have never been missed. I wouldn't want to be the guy on my watch that the league went on strike and missed games for the first time ever. But there's obviously no way that he can corral these owners. It's obviously like herding cats. But again, I think that they've never, I don't think they've ever predicted that the players would walk out and go on strike like they have. So I just hope that they work it out. And the other thing is I see that the players, they're retiring, like Alexander Chevrier. Rough Rider, fullback, linebacker, I believe he played both. And then he signed with the Alouettes. He retired. Guys can't wait this out any longer. And the other thing, I think we talked about this near the end of the show yesterday, is that this is not like the NFL and MLB and NHL. There's not billions of dollars to fight over. And this is a case of greed. This is a case of survival. And the fact that the owners are trying to, or it would appear, wait out the players, starve them, if you will, in a way, that's just not good.
But there is one similarity to baseball. And that is that spring training got delayed, but they didn't miss games. So spring training got really shortened, and it did hurt the product on the field for the first few games. They were talking about, that 7-week spring training or whatever it is. They had those dates mapped out in the season. So they're like, this is the time that those 7 weeks are up. So we had a multi-week period to start the season where they almost considered it like knocking the rust off, like it was a continuation of spring training. So the CFL may not lose games, but if the more training camp that they lose, the preseason games that they lose, we're going to have to, in our minds, consider week 1, week 2, as continuations of training camp. We're going to see pretty rough on-field product to start the season as a result.
From Don Mitchell, our Navy friend, he says the CFL Board of Governors says they are losing the PR war with the CFLPA. Duh. The CFL has been a PR disaster since Mark Cohan. Where did they say that they're losing the PR war? I would be interested to see those comments. From BW in Edmonton, he says there's a reason why Mark Cohan got out. How about interview with him, Clark? Maybe Dave Randorf could get his number off his old BlackBerry. BW, we'll do the guest booking. You do the watching. That's how it works. Okay? We'll do the talking. Yeah. From Jason in Red Deer. Well, by the way, I don't think Mark Cohan wants to talk about it. He left, head held high, rode off into the sunset. I don't think he wants any part of this. I know Mark quite well. His dog's named Ryder, for the love of Pete. He's just like a lot of us that are no longer involved in the CFL. It's like, oh, sure, not our problem anymore. Jason in Red Deer, quoting John Lynch, how are those cheerleader girls in the rink there in Florida? He would probably ask that. And as they would say in Milestone, Saskatchewan, pretty shiny. Julia Roberts was in the 7-Eleven in Weyburn one time with her boyfriend, Kiefer Sutherland, because his grandma lived in Weyburn, maybe even his mom. And where I used to stop every night for a Slurpee and a burrito when I was coming home from my shift at CFSL Weyburn when I was a DJ. And word got around Weyburn that Julia Roberts had been in that 7-Eleven that day. And Barry McKim, my brother's old team roping partner, saw her. And I said, Barry, how did she look? He said, pretty shiny.
How about that?
This was like 1992, by the way. So, Pretty Woman
peak
era.
Yeah.
Peak.
That's peak.
Exactly.
Julia Roberts. Yeah.
Pre-Aaron Brockovich, post Pretty Woman. Yeah. Moose, I'll see you back here in a while.
Okay, see you later.
We got Andrew Walker coming in next. We're going to talk about these Stanley Cup playoffs, and he's a huge CFL fan. We'll get his take on the strike as well. It is the RP Show on this Tuesday. It's episode number 758 of your favorite daytime sports entertainment talk show, live on Game Plus Television, YouTube live streaming, and if you missed any of the podcasts, you can always catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming. The Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Quick sports update. The Toronto Blue Jays found their offense and confidence Monday with an impressive 6-2 win over the Seattle Mariners. Now, according to Jays star shortstop Bo Bichette, his team needs to find some consistency. That'll be the focus when the two MLB clubs meet tonight in Game 2 of the set at Rogers Center. Jose Barrios will be on the mound for the 19-17 Blue Jays, while the 16-20 Mariners counter with Logan Gilbert. By the way, the Maple Leafs say that forward Mitch Marner was unharmed after a carjacking in Toronto last night. The NHL team is holding its end-of-season availability today, but Marner is not commenting on the incident last night. He was 10th in the NHL with 97 points this past season. Thankfully, he is okay. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store, and for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Andrew Walker is a longtime friend of ours. He joins us today from Edmonton, Sportsnet Radio god, legend. You talk Blue Jays every day for a long time, Walks. Are you talking as much Jays these days as you used to?
Not quite as much, but also it's because the NHL playoffs are so exciting. You know, I think basically in the summer the Jays start to take over. You're right, though. When I was in Toronto, I was there for the years of 15 and 16 where they finally got back to the playoffs and the bat flip. And for about a year there, it was the easiest radio I've ever had to do. You went in for your 3-hour show, you flipped on the mics, you basically said Blue Jays, and the phone boards would light up. It looked like a Christmas tree. It was amazing.
Yes, well, and probably that's what's happening in Edmonton now with the Oilers and Flames. Do you want to go? Let's start with tonight's games, if you don't mind. Lightning, Panthers, and then Avs, Blues, and then we'll move to the Battle of Alberta, where we have to spend the bulk of our time. But what are your predictions on these series, which open tonight?
Well, you know, I was just even looking at the series odds, right, and to see who is favored and who is the underdog, and I'm amazed the Colorado Avalanche are as big of a favorite as they are. We're talking like 5-1 to win this series. I think the Blues are going to push them a little bit. Now, Colorado will probably win this series, but you know, even against the Nashville Predators, who were limping and had no goaltending, Avalanche swept them, but they were in the third period in a bunch of games, and the one game went to overtime. The one thing we learned about the first round, because we wrote off Dallas, we wrote off LA, and they made series out of it. I really think that the Blues are going to be able to push the Avs. So I'm thinking at least 6 games there. And as for your Florida Panthers, I think it's their time. You know, Tampa used a lot of energy to get by the Leafs. That was a heck of a series. Toronto easily could have advanced. I think the Panthers kind of finally get their revenge and go on a run here.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. The barn is going to be packed. And as I found out, they know hockey here. It's just not top of mind. The Heat are playing as well at the same time. But if the team's good, they'll show up. And they have been doing that. Now, how much play? You're in the City of Champions, Walks. How's it going over that Wayne Gretzky has picked the Flames to win this series? And why would he do that?
Well, listen, Wayne Gretzky is he's not a fan anymore. He's not an ambassador. He's a media analyst. So I don't know. Maybe he's a superstitious guy. Maybe what do they call it? The reverse jinx. Maybe he wants the Oilers to win, so he picks the Flames. He doesn't trust his gut. But you know what? I don't blame him. When I look at this Battle of Alberta, and I know they split the season series 2-2. They each had their trouble in the first round with teams that I think we expected them to beat in 5 or 6 games. But a lot of this comes down to injuries. I think that Calgary was objectively, obviously, the better team in the regular season. I think they're a little deeper on the back end. I think that they win the goaltending battle, even though Mike Smith has been terrific for the Oilers. I don't think he's Jacob Markstrom. And if you're trying to make a case on the other side, listen, Gaudreau, Lindholm, Tkachuk, these guys are great players, but they're not Connor McDavid. And sometimes one guy can put a team on his back like he did in the first round.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cool part of this series, right? I mean, let's dig into it a little more, and I'm sure you have on the Hedge, your new podcast, which we will talk about here, but it's the team depth of the Flames and Sutter hockey, where I think they are going to run the Oilers out of the rink, or try to, versus the high-end skill of Edmonton. Like, who do you see coming out on top, and how long do you think this thing will go?
I do pick Calgary in this series. Playoffs are strange. Tanev is obviously injured. Leon Draisaitl is obviously injured. Tanev so much so they didn't play in Game 7, so he must be really hurt. I do pick Calgary in this series. I don't think it'll be easy. I would be very disappointed if a Battle of Alberta was easy. This is going to be a series that's won in the trenches. And at the end of the day, I do like the bottom 6 and the physicality of Calgary a little more. Plus, they get home ice. But Edmonton's goal, equate yourself pretty well in Game 1, and then try to steal either one of Game 1 or Game 2, because no matter what, that building will be loud, and it's so great to have fans back in. But you come back to Edmonton, and Game 3 will be going crazy here in Edmonton as well.
Well, Game 1 Wednesday in the Saddledome, and you are a Saskatchewan kid, although you've been gone for so long. I don't know if you identify as that with yourself. I will always think of you as that, but you're in Edmonton now. You worked in Calgary for years and Red Deer. For the people from across the country and watching in the States, explain the hate in Alberta, please, between these two fan bases. And I'm worried that somebody's going to get hurt here outside the arena over the next 2 weeks. I'm not joking.
Well, no, you're right. Like, listen, this isn't European soccer. But people like to drink booze, and people get they defend their team, and we've seen fights at less intense type of athletic endeavors than this one. So yeah, listen, I think security in Edmonton and in Calgary, especially if people are wearing their team's colors in opposing territory, there's going to have to be diligence there. If you're going down, don't be an obnoxious fan, right? Keep to yourself. But all that said, this rivalry, I've thought a lot about it. I've ruminated on it a little bit this week because it's changed. I'm 38 years old, so I'm no spring chicken, and I still do not really recall, at least as an adult, as a fan, a Battle of Alberta in the playoffs. This is something that hasn't happened for 30 years, which is insane. I was a little surprised this week because, I grew up an Oilers fan, and, being in media and working in Calgary and all over, lose that fandom a little bit. So I don't necessarily care who wins and loses anymore. I do if I bet on them. But, when I grew up and I was an Oilers fan, I hated Calgary. And honestly, Rod, I wouldn't even care if the Oilers lost out as long as Calgary lost out too. Like, I would take both teams failing over both teams succeeding. It's crazy. I'm not proud of that, but I think a lot of people feel that way in the rivalry. So I was really surprised this week that a lot of Oiler fans were rooting for the Flames in Game 7, and a lot of Flames fans were rooting for the Oilers in Game 7 because they wanted this. They wanted the Battle of Alberta. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing for a generation like me or, anyone under 40, basically. So that surprised me a little bit. It showed me that the rivalry has softened a little bit with fans. And maybe a lot of that is, hey, we're coming out of pandemic. And I think Oiler fans are happy for Flames fans to be back in the building and see a big moment. And the same goes vice versa. However, that might disappear very quickly. But right now, I think it's softened.
Hey, we got 30 seconds. Tell us about the Hedge podcast and where people can catch it.
Yeah, well, listen, Rod, you know all about this. Sports fandom, sports media, it's all going digital. You've done an amazing job with the Rod Pedersen Show. You're part of the inspiration behind mine as well. But the Hedge, you can find it at thehedgepod.com. I would encourage all your listeners, when you're done with the Rod Pedersen Show, head over to the Hedge. We talk a lot of sports betting. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, thehedgepod.com.
Awesome stuff. Walks, thanks. Continued success with it and keep in touch.
You as well. Thanks, Rod.
We got a Taco Time viewer takeover coming up next. It is a fantastic Tuesday here on the RP Show. Game day, not game time yet, in Sunrise at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight, Lightning and Panthers. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is the RP Show. It is Taco Time viewer takeover. And by the way, as you know, it's Tuesday. That means $2 tacos at the over 120 Taco Time locations across Canada. Means your biggest decision is simply this: hard or soft shell, beef or veggie. Taco Tuesday. At Taco Time, there's always one near you. And because it's viewer takeover, that's what we do. We turn it over to you, the viewers, with the questions in the comments before we break and bring the Moose in an hour two. Lots of time here-ish for this segment. Alex Fulton is watching. He is in Toronto, Ontario, operating this show from the Game Plus studio. And he says, "Morning, Rod. Which series has you more excited? Battle of Florida or Battle of Alberta? Looks like it should be two great series." Oh. Excited for both for two different reasons. One, I'll be at the Battle of Florida, so clearly. And listen, actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because there was a game, I think it was 8-1. The Panthers spanked the Lightning earlier this year. 8-1, 8-3, something like that. Brian Dodge could tell me. He's probably watching right now. But I remember sitting behind some Panthers fans, and they said, "Let's hang 9 on these MFers." And I'm like, yeah, I like it. They hate the Tampa Bay Lightning in Florida, but it's only just inside the arena. You know what I mean? So it'll be raucous tonight. I can't wait to get there for game one. But again, Battle of Alberta, we've been talking about it for months that it was going to happen, and it's been lining up that was the way it could happen, and now it's finally happened. And I'm actually happy that I'm not there. And hear me out on that. You know, for years and years and years, I wanted to be where the action is. Now I'm glad I'm not going to be where the action is. White Avenue, 17th Avenue, the fights in the stands, the fights in the parking lot, the fights in the bars in the street. I believe that's all going to happen. I don't want to be around for that. And especially, listen, a Battle of Alberta is probably what this world needs right now. Forget about all the problems and everything, but don't cause more. Be safe. But I don't know that me saying that is going to make people do it. It reminds me of those Rough Riders at Stampeders games back in the early 2000s when there was all those fights in the crowd. Nothing we said could stop it. Last minute of play in hour one. Last minute, by the way. So what has me more excited? I'm excited for both for two different reasons. And those are why. They hate each other here, but not as much as they hate each other up there. And interestingly enough, this is only the second time in NHL history that round 2 has featured combatants that are from the same state or province. Earlier on in NHL history, it was Pittsburgh-Philly, and a meeting during another Battle of Alberta series. So Moose will join us next hour, and we got a lot of things to unpack. We haven't even got through all the Quick Six show topics. I meant to read some of them here, but we got a lot of comments and questions from our viewers. Nelson Hackowich, our VP of Sim Events, says Florida hockey has some spice to it this season. Yes, finally. We'll kick this all around more after this break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's lifeline.
Got a son, smoky in the air, that's a lot of prime. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Connor Bedard is supposed to be the next Gretzky, the next Crosby. And it was a fan that said, Marcel Deon. And I'm like, you nailed it. Remember Marcel? What a player.
Yeah, he definitely was. Hopefully this young man's a little bit taller than Marcel. You know, it was incredible to play. Of course, Marcel was the key to our line. He was the superstar that did everything.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show on this Tuesday. We're coming in hot. We got a lot of topics carrying over from Hour 1. I know a lot of you are just joining us now. Maybe you are listening to the podcast after the fact. We're talking about round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs opening tonight. Talking about Mitch Marner being robbed at gunpoint on, what was it, Monday night, and his Range Rover being stolen. We're glad he's okay. Blue Jays finally won NBA third round playoffs opening, now the conference finals tonight. There's a lot going on, and just so you know, we were talking about how ugly it could get in the Battle of Alberta in terms of the fan bases. And we all know, I would like to think we all know, although Andrew Walker was with us last hour, and he said at the age of 38, he doesn't even remember the last Battle of Alberta. And that's one thing, I'm okay with the age that I am. I remember the 80s wars and the battles of the Oilers and the Flames, and the Marty McSorley spear of Mike Bullard, and the Tim Hunter fight, and McSorley, and I remember all that. And probably going to have it again. But there's going to be hijinks and zaniness away from the arena too. Darren Workman's watching in Salt Lake, Utah, and he says, seen too many bad incidents here. Utah and BYU fans getting into it. 85-year-old Mormon ladies swinging umbrellas. Max Hall, the BYU quarterback, lying about Utah fans pouring beer on his family. Alcohol banned. I talked about the fights at McMahon Stadium over the years between Riders and Stamps fans. And Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, yes, Rider fans caused a lot of problems here over the years. Thing was, Stamps fans didn't cause any problems in the Mosaic Stadium because not enough of them came. Probably too scared. But not the other way at McMahon. And I saw, there's YouTube videos. You can go look it up. It actually turned my stomach when I looked at what went on 20 years ago. There's videos of Rider fans trying to get a hold of the cop's gun in the stands as he was trying to break up fights. We don't want that. So if we can say anything, enjoy the hockey, but be smart. Let's bring in the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont, if you don't mind. And I don't know, I guess you probably don't remember those old-time Battle of Alberta things. You and Walks are about the same age.
Yeah, I think a little younger, but I don't remember that really. I mean, it was young. 94 was the first, again, vivid memories I have of actually watching hockey. I know I did a little bit before that, but you know, the best tweet of all of this came from the Red Deer Rebels. I don't know if you saw this. The Red Deer Rebels tweeted,
"No,
pray for Red Deer," and it got like 2,000 likes or something. It was pretty good coming from their account because. Red Deer is the meat in the middle, right? And that's where all the wars might go down.
Speaking of Red Deer, fantastic city. I didn't mention this earlier in my quick six. It was my fifth point. The Seattle Thunderbirds dug a deep hole in their Western Hockey League playoff series by dropping 3 of the first 4 games against the Portland Winterhawks. But with a 2-1 win Monday night in Seattle's ShoWare Center, the Rolling T-Birds have forced a Game 7 tonight in Portland, the Rose City. Did you hear that, Darren? The 2 best words in sports. Game 7. Reed Schaefer and Jordan Gustafson scored first-period goals for Seattle and then relied on clutch goaltending from Milik Thomas, who stopped 29 of 30 shots. Taylor Gauthier stopped 34 of 36 Seattle shots. Cross Hannes, son of former Regina Pat Trevor Hannes, scored a power play goal in the first period for Portland. The winner of Game 7 tonight will meet the Kamloops Blazers in the Western Conference Finals. So for our junior hockey boys and girls, there's your coverage there. And I'll throw this in there. This was my 6th point. We never even got to all the points in the quick 6. The Boston Celtics will face the top-seeded Miami Heat tonight as the NBA Eastern Conference Finals tip off in Florida. This will be a rematch of the 2020 East Finals with the Heat, which the Heat won in 6 games. So you see how Florida's the place to be. You know, this is where the action is. And again, for the benefit of those that weren't listening earlier, they are upset in South Florida that the NHL would schedule the Panthers game on the same night as the Heat game. And on sports radio, they're blaming Gary Bettman. Darren, you know far more about this stuff than me. Tell me how something like this happened.
I know. They're not thinking about each other. That's how it happens, right? They're not thinking about each other. They've got their playoffs set. I mean, how far is the drive from Sunrise to Miami where the Heat will play?
20 miles, 25 miles.
Okay, so it's not that far, right? So you would get fans. It would be a legitimate concern. But I think, you know, they're not worried. I think when you get this far into the playoffs, into the second round, you drum up some excitement. A place like South Florida should be able to support them both, fill both stadiums. So let's talk tomorrow and see if they did that. My guess is that both stadiums will be full tonight, so it won't be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. And the good news is, frankly, because I am new to this whole Florida hockey scene, but I think it's a good thing that people are upset that the both are playing at the same time. I'm sure there was a time that people wouldn't have cared if the Panthers were playing the same night as the Miami Heat, but tonight they do. By the way, it is Taco Tuesday. $2 tacos all day and all night long at Taco Time. This iconic brand has been around in Canada for over 40 years. A Canadian favorite, serving over 3.2 million burritos, 2.5 million tacos, and over 1 million Mexi fries every year. And by the way, we're also brought to you in part by Tough Tribe for Men. It contains aloe vera, botanicals, and antioxidants, traditionally known for their scalp and hair benefits. We are part of the clean beauty industry. Welcome to Clean Beauty for Men, available today at toughtribeformen.com and Amazon Canada. If you were watching earlier, I don't think you were. Were you on a call earlier near the end of hour 1? Yeah, I figured. Alex Fulton from the Game Plus studio. He's switching the show in downtown Toronto right now. He asked which series I was looking most forward to, Battle of Florida or Battle of Alberta. But as I was saying earlier when you were on, I've been the benefactor of great timing in my life, and this continues to be the same thing. We're right in the middle of both. And I'm excited for both for different reasons. I probably historically Battle of Alberta. It hasn't happened since 1991. I watched the last one. But both are tremendous. And I've said Flames in 6, Panthers in 7. I never did write down your predictions yesterday, by the way. I was looking for them. You want to give me for the entire round 2, Moose? Would you mind right now?
Yeah, they were pretty much the same as yours, except I've got Colorado winning in 5. And I've got Calgary in 7. I've got Florida in 7. And Carolina in 5.
Okay. Very similar to mine. It's interesting
but two quicker
with
series.
Bernie. Well, Bernie Nichols, Weekend at Bernie's. Watch for that, by the way, which, yeah, you know the movie. Will be coming to a screen near you, starring all of us. But Bernie didn't care how long the series go. Guy who's been through all these playoff wars. Bernie doesn't want to get into 4, 5, 6, just whatever. I'll tell you who will win. There's something about that I admire. But from a betting perspective, homie, don't play that game. You want to tell our viewers about the Legends promo, if you don't mind, right now?
When you sign up at Bet Regal, use the promo code LEGENDS to get a deposit bonus, and that's the Bet Regal Legends. So they're legends. I mean, Damon Allen, Matt Dunnigan, and Bernie Nichols are the legends. But use the promo code LEGENDS at Bet Regal. And you can get a deposit bonus and get a little extra action when you bet on the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Somebody just asked in the chat if the mayors got involved in this. Here it is. Well, I went to the big board.
Okay.
And I don't have my breaking news bell here, but if I did, ring-a-ling-a-ling. The Battle of Alberta has officially started with a friendly hockey wager between the city councils in Calgary and Edmonton. And some elite Canadian soccer players with ties to both cities have also made bets. The Calgary Flames play the Oilers, blah, 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 blah. Calgary Mayor Jyoti Gondek said every council member in the losing city is expected to wear the winning team's jerseys at the first meeting after the series finishes. Initially, I think that's kind of weak, but then I think, can you imagine Calgary City Council wearing Oiler jerseys? Wouldn't that be something?
A step up, Rod, from, the mayor's going to wear a jersey for a day, and so he wears it and has one 45-second public appearance. This is a 3-hour council meeting where you've got, 15, 20 people all wearing jerseys? Would look like a team practice. So that's actually pretty good. They've stepped it up a little bit. I like it.
For the mayors, in addition to wearing the winning team's colors, Calgary's mayor said members of the losing city council would donate money out of their own pockets to organizations that help children with cancer. That donation is in recognition of Ben Stelter, an Edmonton boy who has brain cancer and has become known as a good luck charm for the Oilers. Is he ever? You've seen the photos of him hugging Connor McDavid. Oy. The playoff Battle of Alberta has also prompted a friendly wager between Canadian soccer players Alphonso Davies and Sam Adekugbe. Adekugbe, who grew up in Calgary and now plays in Turkey, reached out to Alphonso Davies, a Bayern Munich star who grew up in Edmonton, on social media for the bet. The bet is the loser has to donate $2,000 to the winning team's charity foundation and take a photo in their jersey. I feel like there's a lack of creativity here in these bets, but at least they're doing it. Guys, Jeff, the Stamps fan, just says, why such a cliche bet? What's the 1:11 Eastern, by the way? Time for a healing, Moose, and you are on the right track. We're all on the right track here. I see.
What would be a step up on the bet?
That's what I'm wondering. You've seen people say, I've switched my avatar, my Instagram profile pic for a week to this, John Ohm. Next break, I'm getting my bell. Ring the bell, you effing pansy. He says, from John Ohm, he says, Rod, this is just for Rod. The difference between tacos and your opinion is that I asked for tacos.
How about that? Spicy.
That's a good one. John Kirby says, any updates on the CFL preseason supposed to start Monday? And I just made it in. It was busy. Oh, you were busy, John, so we should all start for you? Show up on time. Hey, Bus. Sorry I missed you. I was busy. Bus ain't coming back, John. BW in Edmonton says, I thought the losing mayor had to wear face paint during council meeting. Oh, Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, no kidding. Lame bet. Get a tattoo of the opposing team's logo if you lose the bet. Again, what is the most delicious bet? There's a lot more that you could do.
Yeah. Here's what I would come up with, okay? If this for this Oilers and Flames series. If I was a diehard Oiler or a diehard Flames fan, I would say, look at it. And you're an Oiler fan, I'm a Flames fan, let's just say. I would say, look at Rod, the loser has to show up to the first game in your city next season wearing my jersey. So you got to go to your rink in Edmonton as a Flames fan for the Battle of Alberta next year and wear a Flames jersey for that game. That would be punishment, okay? To sit there and watch your team play the Flames wearing a Flames jersey. That would just make your skin crawl. Now, that's a punishment. I would go for something like that.
I like the ones you have to run naked down Albert Street or in your underwear. Like now we're getting somewhere.
Holding a flag, right? Carrying or waving a flag. Yeah.
John Kirby in Edmonton says, Rod, rude, but I still love the show. There are no updates. Actually, I'm glad, again, I often say for those that just tuned in, I'm being somewhat facetious. We don't know if there's going to be a football game played on Monday or not. It's supposed to be Winnipeg at Saskatchewan, 3 p.m. Sask time, 5 p.m. Eastern. And I've asked Darren, he was in our morning meeting, I said, is there anything new on this? It's in my commentary again today. Go read it at rodpedersen.com. I don't know who to trust because I know how some of these types of people operate. And they get their media people to be puppets for them and force them to lie to push their agenda and threaten them with their jobs if they don't. Because I had that happen to me. So I don't really know who to believe. Like, I would believe the players. This is my stance from what I see. It's like the owners were shocked. The players actually walked off the job. They were stunned. They haven't in the color television era, so that shocked them. And I think the owners are reeling a little bit. And it's, again, if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all. But we're seeing another flood of retirements on social media. Guys announcing their own retirements. I'm seeing team layoffs as this goes along because the money just isn't there. There are players saying, I would rather retire than play under these conditions. What does that tell you?
I know, it's crazy. And guys are deciding, do they want to go through this battle or do they want to move on with their lives? Especially, guys who don't have big salaries and aren't guaranteed spots on the team and things like that. You got real tough decisions to make. And the longer this drags out, the tougher those decisions are going to be. And, guys need to provide for their families and provide for themselves. And we're not talking about millions of dollars here where, a year's worth of salary can sustain you for X number of years. These guys are, for a large chunk of them, not living paycheck to paycheck, because I don't want to be crazy. I mean, if you're making $60,000, which would be on the low end in the CFL, if you're making 80, 90, 100,000, you're doing better than most people, in the world. So I don't want to think that's still good. I mean, it's not great in terms of pro sports salaries, but this is, they got to go find other jobs. They got to go take care of themselves. They can't just sit back and wait.
Jennifer at the Four Seasons says, I'm okay with the jersey swap, even though it burns your skin. Jason in Red Deer says the loser has to walk naked through Wascana Park. Some people have done that without even losing a bet. Someone here says loser has to paint their car. Here it is. Jeff in Winnipeg. Get your vehicle painted in the opposing team colors. Whoa. Can it just be watercolors? Like just for a day and then you go to the car wash? Yeah, not permanent. Not doing it. We're going to take a time out and continue the fun and frivolity after this. On the way, Dave Randorf, the television voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning, to preview tonight's Game 1. You're watching the RP Show live from South Florida and the NHL's Bermuda Triangle on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Stevie 1 in South Florida. Game day tonight, Panthers and the Lightning at 7 p.m. Eastern. 9:30 p.m. Eastern at St. Louis at Colorado in Game 1. By the way, we're on the road. Rod Pedersen Show live on location next week to kick off the 2022 Centennial Cup hosted by the city of Estevan and the Estevan Bruins. This is a sold-out tournament, and we can't wait to be part of all the action. Stay tuned for tournament updates and catch the live game streams at hockeycanada.ca. I'm just so darn excited to get there. Of course, can't hide the smile on my face. Let's bring in the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont. Get the scoops, get the buzz. You go to the press box here, and I will tonight at FLA Live Arena, and there'll be some guys there. But Affinity Place in Estevan is going to be packed with hockey folk, men and women. I can't wait. What are you looking forward to the most? Everybody's asking what we're looking forward to the most with these Stanley Cup playoffs. What about getting to Estevan next week and doing the show live?
It's going to be great. And, what's awesome about that is it's also going to be a great place to cover the Stanley Cup playoffs from because of all the hockey people that are going to come down on the city. Not only to watch that, but just to get together and just, get to see a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time. So I think that's going to be really cool. The hockey people, and we just love being around the rink watching hockey. And we're going to get our share of pizza and hot dogs and all the rest. It's going to be a fun week.
I better load up on Pink Drink. How about that?
You better.
That is the one thing. The one thing that I do miss Alberta about is the hockey culture. Right? But we're going to be back there before long, and we'll be going to CFL games this summer, which, by the way, the buzz, the chutzpah, the pizzazz of being in a hockey market is something that a hockey guy like me really enjoys. However, I have a text message here from a CFL guy who incidentally is in America, but he said, I'll read you verbatim. I'm told vets are hosting workouts somewhere in Saskatoon. Dum, dum, dum. It is Saskatchewan, by the way. If you see a large group of 20-something athletic men, snap a photo and send it to us. Where could you hide in Saskatoon, Darren? You would have to assume they'd be outdoors, wouldn't you?
They don't have to assume. There's a couple of indoor spots now. One at the Gordie Howe Park, a new indoor facility there. There's, I believe it's the SaskTel Center. It's not the SaskTel Center, but there's the one up on Attridge there. Like that. That's a new indoor facility. Yeah. The SaskTel Soccer Center. That's it. So there's a couple, but they're probably outside. And to be honest, they're probably right outside Griffith Stadium. There's a couple of grass parks right outside the stadium that they're probably working out on. Unless they're over at SMF Field there where they would host the agreement.
Yeah, maybe it's not this big cloak and dagger thing that we're talking about. I just read you what the text said. Clearly that guy isn't there. He's like, I heard that they're holding workouts, which tells me that they're planning on coming back and playing probably soon. So, again, I get derailed with my thought process here, but it's, who do you believe? They're saying if they don't have a deal done by Wednesday, the Riders won't be playing Monday. But I could see that if it wasn't done by Wednesday, well, hang on, maybe Thursday. That's the part where I just get, whatever, man, leave me out of it. I just would hate having my fate tied to this. And this is what I think the fans don't understand. They go back about their jobs. Whatever. If they don't play, well, I'll go to the lake for the day. Like this is their life. Yeah. And I'm just glad that it's not mine anymore. Can you imagine? Look at Derek Taylor, dream job, voice of the Blue Bombers, sitting at an empty field, waiting for the players to show up. How much would that suck? Where is it? Wayne in Victoria, BC says, I love the CFL, but if the owners don't care, then why should I care? That's the one thing. If you've read any of the blogs and coverage of this, they're saying that the owners are willing to live with the consequences of this strike and jamming this down the player's throat. What do you think those consequences might be?
Consequences might be losing games. Consequences might be, losing the PR battle and needing to, build that back up again, right? That's going to come with an expense to try and get people's ticket money and things like that. And for every day that goes along where you're not playing, you start taking games off the calendar. That's money we're not spending, money we're spending somewhere else. Becomes that much harder to get us back in the building. So that would be some of the consequences for sure, that they would be obviously, I guess, willing to live with.
From our VP of Sim Events, Nelson Hakowich, he writes in and says, can confirm a local gym has given their space to the riders for workout. Thank you. Breaking news, local Saskatoon gym donated its space to the Rough Riders, striking Rough Riders, for workout. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, let these players work out in peace. No. And it reminds me of following the Humboldt Broncos crash, April 6th, 2018. A couple months later, the Humboldt Broncos were holding a spring camp, right? And Mike Babcock came in to coach it, and it was all locked down. I can't remember what arena it was. Do you remember? Was it Latrace? Where was it?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly where it was. It might have been Latrace. I don't remember.
It really doesn't matter. Is there a Kinsman Arena in Saskatoon?
There is.
Yeah,
it was the Kinsman Arena.
I think it might have been the Kinsman Arena. But anyways, I was willing to respect the privacy of the workout, having been elbows deep in the Humboldt situation, i.e. dealing with victims' families, dealing with survivors' families, Broncos staff. But it's Saskatchewan, okay? It's the Saskatchewan hockey community. What do you think's going to happen? I got a buddy whose kid's in the camp. He's sending me pictures of Mike Babcock on the ice on the Friday night. You were 10 minutes into the workout. He's like, hey, Babcock's here. I'm like, I knew he was coming. So I tweeted the photo and I made a big deal out of it. Mike Babcock is coaching the Humboldt Broncos spring camp. It had over 500,000 impressions on Twitter. And I understood the Babs was mad about that he didn't want the world to know that he was helping this out. And I'm like, for gosh sakes, this is a team in a league that needs a little good news, Babs. Leave it up to me. So for the CFL, because I think the consequences, it was a bit of a rhetorical question to you, because I have my own thoughts of what the consequences are. And the consequences are this team sliding right off the map into oblivion. Because since I've been outside of Saskatchewan and taken the green goggles off, I realized that not as many people follow the CFL as the people in Saskatchewan. And if they're striking, they're out of sight, out of mind is a thing. And not playing in 2020 inflicted enough damage. Look at the crowds last year, and don't blame COVID. So any pub, if somebody wants to send a photo in of the Rough Riders working out during this strike, we'd post it. Gladly. Just so you know, they're still alive. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says all Stampeders players are welcome to use my treadmill. You'll probably have to get your jackets off it, Jeff. I'm sure it's not being used.
How about that?
From John Ohm. I got all my props. He says, with the Toronto Raptors and Maple Leafs being out of the playoffs, this CFL strike is hurting the Toronto Argos' chances to be prominent at this time of year, other than the Jays. CFL, get back to work. Well, it hasn't even gone to a mediator yet. I hear that they will at some point, but I'd love to know how that's going to go down. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Eesh.
It feels very much like there's a lot of work left to do, and they're still kicking their feet up having coffee, which I know they're not. I know there's informal talks happening, but with no formal talks scheduled, it's just like, what are we doing? Right? And where are we going? And how are we going to fix this? But it's all, I guess, part of the strategy and the posturing, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, this is how things have changed, by the way. This is Kent Strachan, and you know him. He came down to watch the show live at the Grey Eagle when we were in Calgary. He says, the owners of the CFL better get their spit together. My partner and I are season ticket holders in both Calgary and Saskatoon, and we are losing faith in the owners. The players are what we pay to see, and that's part of the problem. I don't know if the guys that are in these ownership, leadership positions have always been this way, but I know when I use the CFL as the example because that's the league that I work. This is supposed to be pro sports, but I was woefully underpaid. And the people that I was working for, although they had all the power, they wanted the glory and the glamour and the notoriety too. Right? And I'm like, you got all the money. You need this too? You're mad that some kid wants a selfie with me or an autograph? You're mad at me for that? But you're not paying me anything. Give me something. And I think the owners don't realize it is the players. It's the players. But the owners want the glory too. Frankly, I loved my own story yesterday from John, the maintenance guy at the beach house. Oh, yeah? You worked in the CFL? Who was that guy? That guy? Flutie? No, the other one. Garcia? No, the other one. Set all the records. Warren Moon. Yeah, that's that guy. Warren Moon. I remember him. CFL. Nobody ever brings up the owner. Not publicly.
That's right. They never do. And, you just know how that negotiation's going too. The owners will sit there and be like, we know how big your strike fund is. Not that big. We're willing to wait till you guys cave. And the players are coming back saying, you underestimate our ability to live on a budget. We've been doing it for a long time. And they both crossed their arms and dig their heels in, and here's where we are.
Right. And I also think that you got a guy like Alex Chevrier announcing his retirement last night on Facebook. And obviously we're Facebook friends, so I saw it, and I thanked him for his service with the franchise. On with life. And that's probably another thing the owners didn't gamble on. A, that they would strike in the first place, and B, that they would just retire rather than come and play under these terms. Like, I think they're reeling a little bit. I really do, if we want to sit and analyze that. Wayne in BC, absolutely, Rod. If the CFL doesn't play this year or play a shortened season, the league may not survive. There's the complete... now you're starting to get into some of these conspiracy theories where they're saying the owners actually want the league to die, so now they can partner with an American league. Are you seeing this stuff?
That's the conspiracy theory stuff that starts getting thrown around. And it's the stuff that you can draw enough paths to it having legs, even if it seems kind of crazy and pie in the sky kind of stuff. I've watched enough TV shows, Rod. That could be what's going on. I'd like to think that it's not, but it's possible.
From Nelson, he says, but in the NFL, owners have more notability than some of the players and most of the GMs. Let's stop comparing the NFL and the CFL. Different universes. not apples and oranges, because they're in the same fridge. They're not even in the same stratosphere. Stop. Moose, I guess I'll let you go and see you back here for overtime.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Dave Randorf of the Tampa Bay Lightning joins us next. This is going to be fantastic. You're watching the RP Show on a game day in South Florida. Lightning and Panthers game 1 tonight. Also later on, Colorado home to the St. Louis Blues at Ball Arena. And it's a day 3 of the CFL strike. We'll see if Rambo has some thoughts on that, the former host of the CFL on TSN panel. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and if you missed any portion of the show, you can always catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The calm before the storm, as they say. Game 1 of round 2 tonight in Sunrise, Florida. The Panthers home to the Tampa Bay Lightning. By the way, next week, we're live on location at the Centennial Cup in Estevan, Saskatchewan. A 10-team tournament from May 19th to the 29th, hosted by the Estevan Bruins. They'll be welcoming the champions of the 9 CJHL leagues. For more information on the 2022 Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons, visit hockeycanada.ca. or follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be broadcasting live from Affinity Place all week long. All right, let's go. Dave Randorf is going to be a busy guy. I'm so grateful that you found time for us today, Rambo, for Game 1. I know you're going to have a role, man. What has you tingling about tonight's game?
Well, you know, I just think back to the first round series that we had the pleasure of being able to broadcast last year, and I kid you not, from the drop of the puck in Game 1 of that first round series right until Braden Point kind of ended it with a goal in Game 6 back at Amalie Arena, it was nonstop. It was fast. It was physical. It was intense. There was lots of goals. There was pushing and shoving and fighting and intensity. The very first ever playoff meeting between these two in-state rivals. They'd never really even been in the playoffs at the same time, only 3 times before in their franchise histories. And now here they are, not only in it, but they're both elite teams. You've got the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions and the best team in the regular season in the Florida Panthers. So that's what's got me tingling. This is a no-brainer. This is going to be a great series. There's going to be tons of eyeballs on it to start because of all the buzz that they created last year. And I think just as this series goes on, it will definitely be one to watch.
Well, and and I've asked you this before, but I'll ask you again. You know that in Western Canada, they're vibrating about the Battle of Alberta. Give some props to the Battle of Florida and why this is a series that people shouldn't turn away from.
I get it. Listen, I've done Battles of Alberta, and worked those games and been at those games and felt that intensity. I'm going to tune in tomorrow night too, for sure. I get it. But it's funny how, we as Canadians sometimes look at Florida and go, well, isn't it kind of like a novelty down there? Keep thinking that if you like, but it's not. I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning are 3-time Stanley Cup champions. They've got 3 of them, and including back-to-back. And they are a very good team and have been for a good period of better part of 10 years now. And the Florida Panthers are a fast, entertaining, deep team. They've added some guys this year in Sam Reinhart, Ben Chirot, Sergei Bobrovsky, who got chased from the series last year, has been much better, tied for the league leading wins with a guy at the other end of the ice, and Andrei Vasilevsky. There's a lot of big guys in this series that love to get involved physically, and Radko Gudas and Ryan Lomberg, a guy who used to play for the Flames, and of course on the other side, Eric Chernak and Pat Maroon and Corey Perry. So they're going to bring the heavy to this series. And then, of course, you got all kinds of stars that love to shoot the lights out. Jonathan Huberdeau tied for second in the league in points with 115, led the league in assists. Barkov, who probably could have been close to his totals had he not been hurt. Carter Verhaeghe, who is right now second in playoff scoring with 12 points in a 6-game series against Washington, a former member of the Lightning. There's all kinds of storylines. And bottom line is these are just 2 good teams. And, if you turn your nose up because you think this is just the state of Florida, then you're missing out.
Yeah, no doubt. By the way, Rambo, realizing again, you're a very popular guy. There's a ton of questions coming in from the viewers, but I'm being selfish. I'm hogging them all for you. Now, you just pumped the tires of the Panthers. You got to tell me what the absence, if there will be an absence of Brayden Point, is going to mean to the Lightning. Former Moose Jaw Warrior and Calgary product. What do we know about his status?
Well, we know that John Cooper said yesterday he's highly doubtful for tonight. He did not skate yesterday. They did not hold a morning skate this morning, so he's pretty much not going to play tonight. And then he's day-to-day. For those who missed it, he got injured, got tangled up along the far boards in the first period of Game 7 Saturday night in Toronto, which is an amazing Game 7, by the way. And that's obviously a big hole. It goes without saying, this is a guy who's led the Stanley Cup playoffs in goals each of the last 2 years with 14 goals both years. So he's got so much clutch in his game. But he's also been asked to play a shutdown role along with Anthony Cirelli. They were trailing Marner and Matthews and did a pretty good job of it. And so that is a massive hole, no doubt. And people are saying, what kind of adjustments do you make? You don't really adjust to losing a guy like Brayden Point. You just rely upon your depth. They may bring in Riley Nash, a guy who's played on 3 teams this season, including the Lightning, and they brought him back. He has not played again for the Lightning since they reacquired him on waivers, but he's been around the team. They may put him in there. He's a reliable veteran, another Western Canadian guy who's been around the block and can be plugged in. Or I think what they're going to do, and this is just my hunch, I've got no concrete information here, but they may go with 7D. This is something that John Cooper and the Lightning have done many times over the past couple of years. And tonight, when you really need it against the highest scoring team in the NHL, my guess is he'll bring Jan Rutta back into the mix and go with 7 defensemen. And then they'll just wait to see if and when Brayden Point can be back in there.
I'll read a couple. John Ohm in Winnipeg says, Canada loves and misses Dave, one of the best ever. So he's speaking for a lot of people there, Rambo. Sheesh, we never have enough time with you. What did you think when John Cooper was saying, we're giving the series to the Leafs? I mean, you've referenced the Toronto series a couple times here. What did you think? Because Dave Poulin was on here last week saying he's speaking to his own players, not the media or the Leafs. What did you think about Cooper's comments there?
John is a very intelligent man, and when he goes in front of a microphone, nothing is off the cuff. It's all kind of measured, and he knows the impact that it will have. He used the word freebie after game number 1. He said, you don't want to give freebies at this time of year, and we gave them a freebie in game 1. And he said about a couple of other things along the way, building up as that series progressed, like we got casual on a 5-on-3, and we're imploding with all the penalties we're taking. So, these messages were certainly meant to resonate with his players, a veteran group. And probably this is nothing he didn't say to them in meetings, for sure. but he reinforced it publicly and chose to do so. Having said that, he's got a very experienced veteran group, a team that's been together for an awful long time, a team that and a group that he trusts implicitly and has the utmost confidence in. So he knows what they can handle and what they can't. He knows how to push buttons. And would you believe that John Cooper has never won Coach of the Year? All these years, the Lightning have been the way they have been, a very good, entertaining team and a successful team, and he's never won. And I think it's probably because he coaches this good team that's loaded with stars, and a lot of people just kind of overlook it and go, oh, yeah, how hard is it to write Vasilevsky on the lineup card and then send Hedman and Stamkos and Kucherov and Point over the boards? It goes so much deeper than that. And I see this team on a day-in, day-out basis and how he has kept them motivated and pushing forward in a long season for them, in which they have played a ton of hockey in the last two and a half years. People forget they won 2 cups in a 10-month span within 12 months. And that's unheard of. And people kind of forget that part of the equation. I haven't seen any physical fatigue with this group, but certainly in March there was mental fatigue. And maybe even at times during that first round series. But when it counted the most, their experience rose to the top, and they shut down. They won Game 7, or I beg your pardon, Game 6 in overtime, and then shut down Game 7 on the road. And the Lightning appear to be back on track.
Yeah, well, one thing about those awards I've realized since I've left the CFL and got into all other sports, kind of looked around and took a breath, some of those guys voting don't really know the game. Dave, let me say this. They're clamoring for a CFL comment. The fans want to know your thoughts of the fact that the CFL is on day 3 of a streak.
I was up there in Canada, and I was talking to some people up there, including Chris Cuthbert, another former familiar voice of CFL fans. And I can't say I have followed this latest labor impasse that closely, although that I know that there is one. And it frustrates me, not knowing all the issues. I'm just going to just tell you on the surface, it frustrates me as a man who cares, a guy who cares about the league and he cares about the players and the fans and everybody involved, that just seems that time and time again, they can't get out of their own way. It's one thing after the next, and this league cannot afford any kind of shutdown. It's not a league that can withstand that. And I certainly hope that we are up and running soon. I watch a lot of games. I live here now in Tampa, and I watch as many games as I possibly can on my ESPN Plus app. So I'm still following along, and I hope they sort it out, because there's a lot of good people in that league and a lot of passionate fans from coast to coast.
I'm just going to run a little long, 60 seconds. What is it like? Let's get personal for a second. In the same city as Tampa, city of champs, as Stammers said. What's it like, Dave?
In Tampa Bay, it's great. Yeah. It's a great place to live. I really enjoy it. My wife and I are adjusting to a new life here. You never see Brady. It's amazing. Tampa's not that big, and he's here all the time. Local. Yeah, I know. You're in South Florida, where I am now. Yeah, I'm in South Florida too. But even when he's there during the season, you never see the guy. He keeps it pretty tight. But it's a great sports town. The baseball team's always pretty good. You've got Brady in town, and the Lightning are there, and it's a fun place. I really am enjoying it, and the weather doesn't suck.
Absolutely. Rambo, thanks as always for the visit. Good luck in the series.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And to everybody who wrote in there, thanks very much. It really means a lot to get those nice words from back home. It means a lot. Thank you.
They mean it. Thanks, Dave. The television voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Dave Randorf, joining us on the day of Game 1, Lightning and Panthers. We'll be back with the final segment, Overtime, for Taco Time. Next, you're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Lot of slime, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It's overtime, final segment, and then we'll be off to Sunrise for Game 1 tonight, Lightning in Florida. Maybe a birthday party in between. We'll see. Let's bring the Moose in, if you don't mind. Darren Moose DuPont is for the overtime segment brought to you by, well, Taco Time, as you see, because it is Tuesday. Right? $2 tacos all day and night at Taco Time. Who wouldn't like that? And, of course, the Four Seasons Sports. Yeah, right. Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the Stanley Cup playoffs in UFC. Moose, I got to get this camera thing figured out. What's the word? You're the boss. You are the man. Can we get through the rest of the week this way, or should I get it fixed before tomorrow's show?
Well, I mean, always if we can get it fixed, let's get it fixed. But, I've been watching the show. I think it looks good. I think you've done a great job, and Jordan's done a great job in making this all work. I love what we've been able to pull off here. So I'm not unhappy, that's for sure.
I haven't done anything, just so you know. It's all Jordan. And but anyways, we'll talk after the show. I may have figured it out. But my brother has sent me something here from Barstool Sports. It's interesting. For the hockey fans, the Carolina Hurricanes are, this is the way it reads from Barstool. The Carolina Hurricanes are a direct result of what happens in a society that tries to rid itself of bullying. These are a bunch of dorks who deserve to get bullied mercilessly. They think they can just run around and make all these wacky and zany, stupid jokes, but the moment you say something mean about them, they cry out for mommy. Is this how Barstool writes their stuff? I've never read anything before. Anyways, the long and the short of this is they're not allowing Rangers fans to buy tickets to games in Raleigh, is the sense that I'm getting here. And just before you have a comment on that, I had a parent of one of the Brandon Wheat Kings write me and said, Rod, how do you feel about the fact that the Red Deer Rebels are not selling us tickets in a block for the playoff games between the Wheat Kings and Rebels? They're sprinkling us all over the arena. Don't you think that's wrong? And I said, well, number one, I don't care. Number two, the BC Lions used to do that to the Rough Rider fans back in the day. They didn't want them sitting in a block, so they sprinkled them all around the stadium. This is not trademarked by the Red Deer Rebels. And now if you're the Carolina Hurricanes, of course you'd want to sell your tickets to your own fans before the opposition fan. How is this even a story? Unless I've missed something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to sit there and have an unsold building and not let Rangers fans buy tickets and have empty seats. You know, if it's a case of letting Carolina fans buy their tickets first, they're going to let Carolina fans buy their tickets first, whether that's through a pre-sale code, you know, by being an insider, subscribing to the Hurricanes newsletter, or season ticket holders, et cetera, et cetera. You want to get as many of your fans in the building as possible. It makes sense to me.
Here's the headline. The Carolina Hurricanes are a bunch of cowards, refuse to let out-of-state Ranger fans buy tickets to playoff games. No, they're none of the sort. They're smart, and they know they can sell it to their own fans first, which is what you just said. My God, what's wrong with people? Ward in Winnipeg, watching on Game Plus TV, says, I refuse to believe this strike will last more than 2 weeks. It will be season on by June 1st. Signed, Ward, a Bomber season ticket holder. From Metal Shingle Guy regarding my buddy's text message that the Riders vets are holding voluntary workouts around Saskatoon. He has sent me a link from radio station CJME.com. It's a link to a story that says Rider vets leading workouts. He says, your buddy is a day late. He usually is. Darren, you probably know who it is after the show. I'll tell you who it is. Last minute of play in hour one. Last minute of play. The whole world's gone mad. The whole world's gone mad. I sound like John Lynch right now.
What did we say? What we Mercury is in retrograde. Rod, Mercury is in retrograde.
We got to wait till June 1st, and everything's going to be going crazy. Do you think people will get normal by then? I don't. But here's the thing. That's why I love reading that NHL PR website every day, because it's not opinion. You know, Cale Makar had the most points of the first 3 games of a series for the most since Al McGinnis and Paul Coffey. That means something to me. I don't care what people think about the Battle of Alberta and what they think's going to happen. None of that matters. What matters is watching the games. And we'll be watching it tonight. Great show, Moose. See you tomorrow.
Great show. See you tomorrow.
Noon Eastern on Game Plus. His name is Rolf. I'm not joking.